Welcome back to Explain the Charts, your definitive guide to market movements. Today, July 18th, 2025, we're putting QQQ, the Nasdaq 100 ETF, under the microscope. First, let's address the elephant in the room, recent market news. Google searches for Nasdaq news today reveal a mixed sentiment. While the S&P 500 and Nasdaq trim some gains, they are still hovering near recent record highs. This indicates a general upward bias despite some minor pullbacks. However, reports from CNBC and Investors Business Daily highlight concerns, with the Dow falling due to potential Trump tariffs on EU imports. This macroeconomic tension introduces a layer of caution for tech-heavy indices like Nasdaq. The recent Nasdaq-AWS collaboration news, on the other hand, reinforces the underlying strength and innovation within the tech sector, which is a long-term bullish signal. Now, let's turn our attention to the charts and see how these narratives translate into price action. Looking at the one-day chart for QQQ, we can observe the broader trend from early 2024 through mid-2025. The overall trajectory for QQQ has been significantly bullish, with a strong uptrend evident over the past year and a half. However, this climb hasn't been without its corrections. Let's zoom into a crucial period, the significant pullback experience between February and March of 2025. As we narrow in on this range, you can clearly see QQQ declining from highs around 540 in mid-February down to a low of approximately 460 by mid-March. This roughly 15% correction was a notable test for the bulls, potentially triggered by a confluence of factors including earnings adjustments or shifts in interest rate expectations during that period. The volume during this sharp decline was also quite high, indicating strong selling pressure. However, the subsequent recovery from this 460 level was robust, demonstrating QQQ's resilience and strong underlying demand. The 460 price level effectively served as a strong support zone, successfully holding against significant selling pressure. Returning to the full daily chart, notice how QQQ has steadily climbed since that March 2025 low, making consistent higher highs and higher lows. The psychological price level of 500, which was resistance in late 2024, has firmly flipped into a solid support level. More recently, the 540 level, previously a February 2025 high, has acted as a minor consolidation area before the current push higher. QQQ closed yesterday, July 17, 2025, at 561.8, marking a new high in our provided data range. This continuous upward momentum suggests that the bullish sentiment, despite recent news about trimming gains, remains largely intact on a daily time frame. Now, let's switch to the one-hour chart to get a clearer picture of the recent price action and immediate trends. Looking at the last few trading days on the one-hour chart, we can see QQQ consolidating slightly around the current highs of 556 to 562. Volume during these recent hours has been moderate, but spikes can be observed around key hourly movements. The price movement is relatively tight, indicating either indecision or accumulation near these all-time highs. This consolidation aligns with the news suggesting that the market is trimming gains as it hovers near records. The slight dips you see are quickly bought up, reinforcing the idea that buyers are still eager at these levels. The levels around 556 and 558 appear to be acting as immediate hourly support, preventing a deeper pullback. Any sustained break below 556 on this time frame could indicate short-term weakness. For an even finer granular view of the current trading session, let's examine the 15-minute chart. As of our current time, July 18, 2025, 18:11 and 52 seconds Universal Time Coordinated, the market is active, and the last available 15-minute candle closed at 562.37. This shows a slight upward continuation from the daily close, pushing further into new territory. On this time frame, the microtrend is still leaning bullish, with minimal pullbacks in the past few hours. Immediate support for intraday traders would be around 561.5, representing the recent low in these 15-minute candles. The high of 562.50 seen in the latest candles serves as immediate overhead resistance. Traders should watch for decisive breaks above or below these very short-term levels, accompanied by strong volume, to confirm intraday direction. A breakout above 562.50 could lead to further upside, while a drop below 561.5 might signal profit-taking. Volume on these smaller timeframes has been sporadic, typical for pre-market or low-activity hours, but pays to watch during the core trading hours for conviction. To recap our important price levels for QQQ. Long-term support is robust around the $450 to $460 range, a critical area if a significant market correction were to occur. Intermediate support lies at $500 and $540, levels that have proven their strength as previous resistance turned into support. Currently, QQQ is testing new highs, with immediate overhead resistance around $562 to $563. For short-term prospects, QQQ remains bullish, showing remarkable resilience and a strong appetite for tech stocks. The overall long-term trend strongly favors the bulls, reinforced by continued innovation in the sector. However, caution is warranted in the short term due to macroeconomic headlines, such as potential tariffs, which could introduce volatility. An unbiased prediction suggests that if QQQ maintains its strength above the $555 to $556 support, a continuation towards $565 to $570 is highly likely, perhaps with 70% probability given the current momentum. This would be reinforced by positive earnings reports from major tech companies in the coming weeks. Conversely, if QQQ breaks and holds below the $555 mark, especially with increased volume, a retest of the $540 level becomes probable, with about a 30% likelihood, particularly if tariff talks escalate or broader market weakness emerges. Look for volume confirmation on any breakouts or breakdowns. Higher than average volume accompanying a price move lends more credibility to the direction. Also, pay close attention to any future Federal Reserve commentary, as interest rate expectations continue to be a major driver for growth stocks like those in QQQ. Remember to always do your own research and consider your risk tolerance before making any trading decisions. Thank you for watching Explain the Charts, and we'll see you in the next one.